Hello, movie lovers. Welcome back to the Movie Hunter. Today, we're diving into the spine-tingling terror of the Conjuring Universe, a sprawling horror empire built on real-life, paranormal investigations that'll have you sleeping with the lights on for weeks. The Conjuring Universe kicks off with its core mainline films, starring the iconic demon-hunting duo Ed and Lorraine Warren, played to perfection by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. There are four of these heart-pounding entries that form the backbone of the franchise. Before we dive deeper into these ghostly gems and their wild spin-offs, I'd love your support for the Movie Hunter. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. Thanks so much in advance for joining the hunt. Let's start with the main Conjuring movies, which anchor the entire saga in chronological terror. The original The Conjuring from 2013 transports us to 1971 Rhode Island, with a Perron family, Roger, Carolyn, and their 5 daughters, moves into an old farmhouse only to face relentless hauntings from a malevolent witch named Bathsheba, who once sacrificed her own child on the property. As the family's lives unravel with bruising apparitions, slamming doors, and possessions that turn loving mothers into vessels of rage, Ed and Lorraine Warren step in with their arsenal of faith and investigation tools, uncovering a curse tied to the land's bloody history. It's the film that launched 1,000 jump scares and set the gold standard for found footage-style supernatural chills, blending raw family drama with exorcism intensity that feels ripped from the Warrens' own case files. Fast forward to The Conjuring 2 in 2016, and we're across the pond in 1977 London for the infamous Enfield poltergeist case, where single mother Peggy Hodgson and her 4 kids, especially 11-year-old Janet, endure flying furniture, levitating beds, and a gravelly-voiced demon named Bill Wilkins who possesses Janet, making her speak in a creepy old man's tone while bruises bloom on her skin. The Warrens, fresh off the Amityville controversy, arrive to sift through skepticism from investigators and church officials, battling not just the entity, but Lorraine's harrowing visions of a cloaked nun. It's a masterful mix of heart-wrenching family bonds, poltergeist pandemonium, and psychological dread that'll leave you questioning every creak in your house, all grounded in one of the most documented hauntings ever. The third installment, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It from 2021, dives into the real Devil Made Me Do It murder trial of 1981 in Connecticut, where young couple Arn Johnson and Debbie Glatzel take in Debbie's little brother David, whose violent seizures and visions of a pig-faced demon escalate into full possession. Arn boldly challenges the entity during an exorcism, only to later stab his landlord in a blacked-out rage, claiming demonic transfer. As the Warrens navigate courtroom battles, watery graves hiding occult altars, and a vengeful witch's curse spanning centuries, they race against a satanic timeline to prove supernatural innocence. It's a gripping shift to legal thriller territory, ramping up the occult intrigue with ritualistic horrors and watery demons that keep the tension dialed to 11. And capping it all off is the epic finale, The Conjuring. Last Rites released just last month in 2025, set in 1986 Pennsylvania during the notorious Smurl haunting, where devout couple Jack and Janet Smurl and their kids endure escalating attacks from a shape-shifting incubus demon that manifests as grotesque apparitions, foul odors, and levitating family members in their split-level home. Now in their twilight years, the Warrens confront this ruthless entity amid personal health crises and family milestones like their daughter Judy's wedding, weaving in flashbacks to their early days while battling a cursed mirror that amplifies the haunt. It's a poignant, pulse-pounding send-off that ties up decades of dread with emotional depth, fresh gothic visuals, and a radiant epilogue honoring the Warrens' legacy. But oh, the spin-offs! This universe explodes into a web of demonic side stories, with 3 major branches that expand the lore in deliciously dark ways. First up, the Annabelle series, centered on that deceptively cute possessed doll that's become a horror icon. It kicks off with Annabelle in 2014, following expectant couple Mia and John Form in 1960s Santa Monica, whose vintage doll collection gets a deadly addition when satanic cultists, led by the Higgins' deranged daughter Annabelle, invade their home, spilling blood on the porcelain figure during a ritual that awakens a vengeful spirit as Mia's pregnancy advances amid shadowy figures, crib rockings, and Evelyn's guilt-ridden suicide pact from her own child's loss, the doll channels escalating. Terrors like slashed tires and spectral attacks, turning everyday objects into nightmare fuel in a taut descent from domestic bliss to demonic siege. The prequel Annabelle, creation from 2017, rewinds to the 1950s California countryside, where dollmakers Samuel and Esther Mullins, shattered by their daughter Bee's accidental death in a car crash, invite an ancient demon into their creation through a desperate prayer for reunion. Years later, they open their creaky mansion to Sister Charlotte and orphan girls like polio-stricken Janice, only for the doll to lure the innocent with ghostly visions, shadowy pursuits through hidden passages, and possessions that twist playtime into peril, culminating in a button-eyed horror that preys on vulnerability with soul-crushing gothic elegance. Rounding out the trilogy is Annabelle Comes Home in 2019, set right after the first Conjuring in 1972 Connecticut, where the Warrens' teen daughter Judy stays home with babysitter Mary Ellen and friend Daniela, whose grief over her late mother draws her to the forbidden artifact room, unleashing Annabelle, who summons a menagerie of spirits like the ferryman bride with her dagger and a monkey's paw that warps time, turning the Warrens' sanctuary into a chaotic funhouse of distorted clocks, whispering samurai armor, and vengeful ghosts that test Judy's budding clairvoyance in a frenzy of clever, lore-rich scares. Next, the Nun franchise unleashes pure, unholy dread with its cloaked demon Valak. The Nun in 2018 flashes back to 1952 Romania, where post-World War II Abbey St. Carda's nuns guard a hellish rift sealed by Christ's blood. When one hangs herself to contain the breach, Vatican envoys Father Burke, haunted by a botched exorcism, novice Sister Irene, and Frenchie investigate, navigating catacombs riddled with crucifixes, impaled relics, and a shape-shifting Valak who mimics the dead to sow doubt, blending gothic fog-shrouded ruins with faith-shaking visions that redefine convent. Horror in a battle for souls amid desecrated sacraments. The sequel, The Nun 2, from 2023 jumps to 1956 France, reuniting a more seasoned Sister Irene with a now-tormented Frenchie, possessed since their last clash. As Valak infiltrates a Catholic boarding school, desecrating chalices, corrupting altar boys into puppets, and hunting a relic of Christ's blood through foggy vineyards and candlelit chapels. Joined by skeptical novice Deborah, Irene grapples with visions of drowned priests and Morris's split personality in a blasphemous barrage of schoolyard slaughters and mirrored pursuits that amplify the demon's sadistic intellect. Finally, there's the standalone spin-off The Curse of La Llorona from 2019, loosely tied through a shared priest character. It's a folklore-fueled fright fest set in 1973 Los Angeles, where widowed social worker Ana Tate Garcia ignores warnings from a grieving mother accused of drowning her sons, only to draw the vengeful La Llorona, a spectral woman in white, forever weeping for her betrayed children, into her own home, where watery handprints, flooding nightmares, and bathtub lures threaten her. Kids Chris and Sam, enlisting curandero Father Perez for fiery rituals with Lirio de los Valles flowers, Anna confronts the legend's origins in a riverside grave, amid back-alley pursuits and wailing winds that blend cultural myth with visceral maternal terror. Phew, what a haunted hunt through the Conjuring cosmos, from farmhouse phantoms to dollhouse devils. This universe has redefined jump-scare supremacy with over $1 billion at the box office and endless nightmares to boot. If you're as obsessed as I am, drop your favorite Conjuring scare in the comments below. Is it Valak's grin or Annabelle's stare? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Movie Hunter for more cinematic chases into the unknown. Until next time, keep hunting those thrills. Movie lovers, stay spooky.
Whatever is going on, whatever happened that day.